and see about releasing the bomb. But I had just walked out the tail gunner to go there, and the bomb came out. But by that time, our other 5 planes, maybe we were 6 in formation, they were long gone, and we had the bomb bay doors open, so you couldn't even see them. And you know, with one engine, but the pilot was able to do something. So the engine went, but the fire went out, but we had one engine there and 2 there. So we couldn't fly nearly as fast as the others. And that's the only time I thought I had really said a prayer, because I figured nothing could happen to me. But there I realized it did. And when we came back, they had a crosswind or something. But the pilot, we didn't have any more brakes, so the pilot said, I want 2 of you to tie your parachute to the waist window. And when the wheels hit the ground, just each of you go and pull your parachute. So I had volunteered for one, and somebody. When we went out there, pulled the parachutes, they both opened, but there was a little cross wind. And when it had slowed down fast enough, the plane kind of swung around, and we went in a ditch. I was the first one to jump out. It didn't catch on fire. I was the first one to jump back. I got that little hatchet or little axe I have in the house. I still have it. I think I had got a knife and a parachute.
Was the plane smoking?
And so we went back to the base, and I didn't have to fly anymore. But to come back to the United States, guess what? We have to come back in a
boat?
A freighter, a boat.
A ship.
And it took 30 days to get back.
Oh,
and
my.
That night, before we left the Philippines, I was on a cot on the ground. A cot. An earthquake came. Now, if I'd have been in a tall building, it would have probably been rough. But I was on the ground, and I was on a cot. But it was still strong enough that it shook me in the cot. I thought somebody was trying to wake me up to go on KP. But that was probably a bad earthquake, but I was on the ground. And so we got into the ship, the island, it was not close enough, so we had to go in a little, like a lifesaver boat, and we had to climb up and get on the ship and stuff.
For 30 days.
It took us 30 days.
Were the seas rough? Did people get sick on that boat?
Well,
how many guys were on it?
Some of them probably got seasick. I don't think I did, but it just took us a long time to get back, and there could have been submarines, but we made it back. And when we get to San Francisco, I think I had hid something, or maybe before we left, one time I had gone to a furlough, and usually I knew when you got off the ship or did something, they'd take all your clothes and give you, but I had got a locker at the bus station. So after we were all ready to leave, that's another place they messed up. They all gave us OD uniform. OD is olive color, but they were more like for the winter. And we were going, there were 3 trains. One to the north part, that was perfect for them. One to the middle of the United States, that wasn't too good for them. And one to southern, and that was us. And man, it was hot on that airplane. On that train.
So they were like heavy winter weight.
Yeah, and so you weren't supposed to get off the train, but there was another train coming to the West Coast to send some more soldiers to the Pacific. So they put us on a side track. Oh boy, a bunch of people jumped off the train because about 100 yards or maybe 150 yards, there was a little cantina, where you could buy beer with. Boy, they jumped off and stuff. And I didn't jump off, but the guy came back and I reached and I helped him in the window to get back in. So he had bought a 6-pack of beer. I hardly ever drink beer. That's one time I drank some of that beer. And anyway.
Yeah, I don't ever remember you drinking beer. Well, how
I'm not a beer drinker. I drink bourbon and stuff.
How old were you at that time, when you were leaving?
Oh.
Were you 20 yet?
Oh yeah, I must have been maybe 23 or something like that.
How old were you
I think you could enlist when you were 18. I might have just been 21, but I wasn't married.
How old were you when you got married?
I guess I was about 21. Maybe when I went overseas, I was more like 18.
18.
Or 19.
Yeah.
And so when I got back, I went to the bar, and I knew the bartender from the time, before I had enlisted. Yeah, you used to go to the Vanishland Club, and you were in the 8th grade. I remember some of them were short enough they couldn't see over the bar. Anyway,
there was no legal age about
and
alcohol.
I asked the bartender, I said, who's that pretty girl on the dance floor? The dance floor was that, and they had a jukebox, and then they had a little bar, and then in back the bar there was a little cafe, but it's all kind. But anyway, I went to the bar and asked the bartender, I said, who's that pretty girl on the dance floor? And Winnie must have been probably one of the prettiest or the prettiest one in the dance floor. She came back and I said, listen, I said, I paid your bill for smoking, and I said, I think I'd like for you to be kind of like my steady boyfriend. I wasn't asking to get engaged or nothing, but I said, I'd like for you to, but I said, if you smoke, I said, it won't work.
But you didn't say all that at once.
She said, I quit. So I knew she liked me then, and anyway, so that's kind of how the story was, how we finally got married. And then I didn't mean to ask her to get married, but we were pretty steady,
Yes.
And she was sitting on my lap, and there was a heater, and I hated to move, but I asked her, I said, if I asked you to get married, what would you say? And you know what I thought? I thought she said I'd have to think about it.
Or you just have to wait and ask, and then you'll find out.
And so I said, what would you say? She said, I would say yes. Well, when she said that, I said,
You surprised yourself.
I said, well, she said, like she was going to marry me or something. So I said, well, when do you want to get married? And I said, I think she said, pretty soon or something. And it was between the Christmas break. And I said, how about December the 27th? I think it was a weekend. And she said, okay. And so we called Nan, Alicia, and she was in Houston visiting Papa's brother. She was HCR. And so when Nan called and found out I was getting married, and it was supposed to be the 27th of December, she says, can they wait a couple of days? So we were supposed to get married, so we moved it a couple of days. So our wedding anniversary is December the 29th instead of the 27th. So that's how it turned
So
out.
y'all didn't have a long engagement.
Yeah.
Had she been to the house and met your mother, and had she met Nanan? They had never met her?
No.
They didn't?
And listen, I didn't know hardly how to drive. I had driven just a few times. And Papa had kind of showed me. And so we got married, and so I thought I'd have to take a bus. And RCU's, he must have been brave. He said, take our car. Marjorie was pregnant with Judy or somebody. And so he said, take our car. So we take off and we head for Lake Charles. And we didn't have reservations or nothing. And we get to Lake Charles, and I looked at one of the tallest buildings, and it was the Hotel Lake Charles, I think, or Hotel Charles or something. And I got up there, and that was an interesting a place to park. And they said, for parking for hotel guests only. They didn't say 2 hours or anything. They said parking for hotel guests.
While checking in.
Pulled up there, we parked, and then Mama had fixed us a lunch in a paper bag. We went upstairs, we ate lunch and went to bed. And the next morning, I think it was a Saturday, the next morning, ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling, a church bell. I said, honey, I said, it's Sunday. We have to go to Mass. So we went to, we got dressed, we went to Mass, we came back, and I had, like I said, borrowed Alcius's car. We went to some seafood place. I think they has a specialty on maybe on oysters and stuff. And anyway, so we come back, and I think it was the next morning, Monday or something. We had been parked there 3 days. Get outside, there's a ticket under the windshield. I asked, what's this? I said, they said it's a ticket for parking there. And you parked too long or something. So they said you go there and park. So I went. I had my car keys, and I went. I said, what's that ticket for? They said, you parked too long in that park. I said, I said, if you go over there, they have a sign, parking for hotel guests only. They didn't say 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3. They said parking for hotel guests only. I said, you want to come with me, see? He said, no. He said, where are you from? I said, Ville Platte. He said, okay, here. But he says, go move your car, because they had said parking for hotel guests only. They didn't say. And
How
so
long?
when
Yeah.
I moved the car, they said parking for 1 hour or something. But I had already, and I had the,
Yeah, it was parking, I guess, when you checked in.
yeah.
Oh
So
my goodness.